There is crap all over my floor and I'm not gonna clean it up for the video. You're welcome. Hi guys, welcome to Fun Fridays with Shanny. I'm Shanny and let's have some fun. Okay, so today I wanted to share with you a story of the very first time that I got high. Let me rephrase that. The only time that I got high besides like for medical, like in a hospital, like on morphine, okay? This is the first time and only time I ever got high outside of a hospital, I guess I would say, I don't know. And you know how when you're a kid and you do something wrong and you go to your parents and you be like, but it wasn't my fault that I did it. And they're like, that's crap. Of course it's your fault. You chose to do it. This is actually one of those times where I can honestly say this was not my fault. This was not my doing. It was not my choosing. And it's extremely scary and crazy how it happened. So buckle your seatbelts, folks. This is going to be quite a video. Okay, so I would like to try and protect the identity, obviously, of a lot of people in this video. So I'm not even going to tell you where I lived at the time because those who do know me know that I bounced back and forth from two specific cities all throughout my teenage years, which is when this happened. So I'm not going to say if it was Spanish Fork or if it was Orem. It was one of those two, and I don't want to say because I don't want to like out the people that are involved in this and things like that because I don't have their permission, because I don't talk to any of them anymore. Like the good friend that's with me the whole time, I'm gonna have to change her name. I should have thought of this before. What should her name be? I don't know, I'll think of it. But anyway, I don't really talk to her anymore. I haven't talked to her since high school maybe. So I really don't want to like be spewing out this story about her because who knows if she wants people knowing this story. Okay, so some names and identities and city, places, and things will be changed. Okay, so before I get into this story, I just need to reference another story that I've told you guys before because it's really important to this story. Those of you who have been with me a long time on this channel have heard this story, but most of you probably have not because this is one of my earlier videos where I talked about bullying, and I told you one of the stories about one of my bullies. His name was, I don't want to say his name, let's call him Jake, okay? So this guy named Jake, basically when I was in elementary school, would always tease me for being fat and ugly and blah, blah, blah. And one day we were at the park with a bunch of friends and little kids and 20 or 30 people were around us, and he brought this porn magazine to the park, opened it up to the centerfold where the naked lady was, and started like laughing at me and pointing at me and being like, this is what you should look like. You shouldn't have fat rolls like that. Your boob should look like this. You shouldn't have a big butt like that. Like pointing out every little, because I was really overweight as a child, and he used that, and he just, why is the exposure so bright? Oh, that's even brighter. I don't know what I'm doing. That's not good. Anyway, so if you missed that video, go check it out. It just is kind of a more detailed of that story. But anyway, so it was really traumatizing, obviously. Just keep that story in mind. Okay, so fast forward to, how old were we? I think we were like almost about to drive around that age, I think. So my friend and I, let's call her Emily, okay? This was right before we were about to enter into high school. It was just one of those times, and we got this email saying that these two guys were throwing a huge party for everybody in the high school and that everybody was coming. And so we're like, oh, that would be so cool. We should go. Because at the time, keep in mind, I guess I can't speak for her, but I have a feeling that she kind of felt the same as me, but I think I was worse than she was. Like, for me, it was like, I just want to be popular. I just want anybody to like me. I just want all of these things that I envy other girls having that I can't have. And maybe if I go, and maybe if there are that many people, maybe I'll find a guy that will actually like me back, type of a thing. Again, I can't speak for her, but, so for me, it's like, I didn't care about safety. I never did growing up. I was always a rebel. I just didn't care. I'm pretty sure I lied to my mom to tell her where I was going. I'm pretty sure I just said I was going to a friend's house, but that's not true. I was planning to go to a party with hundreds of kids. We get to this party and we get to the address and we look at the house and it looks totally like dead. Like there's not a party. Like It just looks like a normal house with a few lights on inside. And we're like, is this the right place? We're looking around the neighborhood. Is that right? Are we in the right place? Who knows? So finally we get the courage to just go knock on the door, and we're like, maybe someone here can tell us if we're in the wrong place. So we knock on the door, and this guy answers the door, and he looks about our age. I didn't know him. I didn't recognize him. And he's like, hey, are you guys here for the party? We're like, yeah. He's like, yeah, come on in. We're like, okay. And so we come in because, again, we were stupid, or at least I was. She's not stupid, but we both were stupid. Let's be real. We were stupid teenagers that just were like, okay, sure, without even asking what's going on, where are the people, what is happening? I don't understand this. So we go in, and immediately he kind of like, as soon as we walk through the door, he kind of slams the door and locks it. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, what is happening? Like, how are the other guests gonna get in? Because I was so naive back then. And so we're like, okay, that's weird. He's like, okay, so everyone's coming. A lot of people have called and said that they're late, but they're coming. So if you guys just want to hang out on the couch, that's cool. And we're like, okay. And at this point, honestly, after the door thing and after he said to sit on the couch and wait, I started to get an iffy feeling about it. And I was like, something just doesn't feel right. Like, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is really happening. What is going on? Who are these people? I don't even know who they are. There are these two guys at the time sitting in the living room with us, where he told us to go sit on the couch. So we're sitting on the couch. These other two guys are sitting on some chairs that are right by the couch where we were sitting. And one of the guys leaves the room, and he comes back with this big thing. Now I know it to be a bong, I guess, but it was like the kind of bong. I'm sorry if I sound stupid, but I don't know a lot about drugs, street drugs and stuff. I don't know anything. So whatever those ones are called, where it can like go into the air and make everybody high. Like, you don't have to smoke it. Like, it's the kind that like goes up in the air and just fills the room with the mist and the smoke. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does anybody know this? Tell me below if you do. Anyway, so he brought that out, and I did not know what it was. I had no idea. I didn't even know what a bong was at the time. I didn't even know really what drugs were or how they worked or anything like that. I seriously had no idea. So we put it down on the table, and I see like smoke, or this misty smoke stuff coming out of it that's very like faint. And I'm like, okay, that's a pretty candle. Like, I'm stupid. Like, I knew I had a bad feeling about it, but I was like, it's whatever. I mean, they're too young to do anything to us. Like, they're our age. Like, it's not like anything bad's gonna happen. You know, it's not like these are old men trying to get us to come in here. I remember starting to feel really fuzzy, and now as an adult, now being on morphines and pain meds so many times in my life, I know what high feels like, and that's how I can describe it now. But back then I had no idea what that feeling was, and I had no idea what was going on. So I just was kind of like, okay, that's cool, whatever, that's great, you know, like everything was just hunky-dory. But about after maybe 10 minutes after I started feeling that feeling, I started to feel really scared and like paranoid. And I know that drugs can make you paranoid sometimes, but I don't think I was being paranoid, actually. I think I was just trying to be safe, I guess. I don't know. Like, I just all of a sudden felt this overwhelming, like, I don't feel good about this. Like, something feels weird. I feel weird. Why do I feel weird? Why do I feel dizzy? Why do I feel so good? Why do I feel so numb? What is happening? What's going on? And, you know, because my body barely had ever taken Tylenol ever, like nothing like that had ever entered my body. And so it made me starting to feel like really dizzy and wavy. And I just remember looking at my friend, what did I name her? What was her name that I gave her? Emily. I remember looking at Emily being like, should we go? And she's like, yeah, I don't like this at all. Like, I think she actually felt more gung-ho about going than I did, because again, I was looking for any type of attention, but it got to the point where it started to feel scary. So we were like, you know, we just remembered that we have to be home for something, but we'll be back. Like, we made it sound like we just had to run home for a minute, but that we'd be back, so that it wouldn't look like, you know, we came to your party just to stay and then have to go home 20 minutes later for good. No, we'll just be right back. We just need something at home. And so we get up, and the guy's like, hey, no. And kind of like, he doesn't push us, nothing abusive like that. He just kind of like, you know, gently like, no, sit back down. It's cool. We're all good here. And I'm like, no, I really gotta go. He's like, no, really, it's cool. I'm like, no, we gotta go. So we stand up to go again. And the other guy goes to the door and literally like puts himself against the door. Like, I don't know what that's gonna do, but okay. And anyway, it just gave me the idea that we were unsafe. Like, this was getting like weird. Like, so I was like, we have to leave. I'm sorry. Like, we're leaving. Like, at this point, in fact, Emily, my friend, was way stronger than I was, and she was more vocal than I was. And she's like, listen, we're not going to stay. We're going to leave. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to leave. We're going to leave. And they're like, nope, you're not. You're staying. You're staying. And like, just as I started to cry, because I was so scared, I was high. I was not myself, but I knew that something was wrong. Like, I just was out of it. And right before I started bawling my eyes out, just when tears started to well up, I hear this voice coming from a different room. He's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, who is that? And a third guy walks in, and he's like, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and I'm like, Jake? Like my bully from third grade, Jake, who, that's not his name, but I have to call him that. Who I had not seen since elementary school. Like, we kind of went our separate ways after elementary school, but it was him. And he walks through the door, and I'm like, and he looks at me, and he's like, I know you. You know, like, we both kind of looked at, like, we didn't even say anything. We didn't even say anything to each other. We didn't say, hey, I know you. We didn't say any of that. We just looked at each other like, whoa, I know you, you know? And so I look at him, and I'm like looking at him in shock, because first of all, he looks completely different from the first time I saw him, but I knew that it was him. He knew that it was me. And he looks at me, and he's like, so what's going on? I'm like, well, we're just trying to leave, but these guys won't let us. And he's like, you guys let her go. She's cool. I know her. Let her go. She's cool. And they let us go. And so just to end that part of the story, I just want to say how crazy and amazing it was to have the boy that really kind of messed up a part of me in my childhood ended up saving me later. Like, that's really cool. You just never know in life what can turn around. You never know where things can go positive, things like that. So I just thought that was really neat. And then, so after we left, I actually do not remember how we got home. I don't remember if one of us drove or if we called somebody. All I do remember is getting to a neighbor friend's house first, and he was really, really good friends with both me and the girl that was with me. And so we went there first because we were scared to go home. Obviously, we were high, we were scared, or at least I was. I can't speak for her, but I cannot even remember getting home. I can't remember getting to his house. Like, it's just the craziest thing. So anyway, that's my story. That's the story of the first time I got high, and it was on accident. It was not my fault. I still to this day have no idea who any of those guys were except for the bully. I don't know who those other two guys were. I never ended up seeing them all throughout my high school years. I never saw them at my high school. I don't know how I didn't see them, and how did my bully end up friends with them. It just was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing ever. So anyway, it was crazy. So, and the moral of my story, obviously, you guys, no matter how safe you think something is, no matter how invincible you might think you are as a teenager, you just never know. And don't be like I was. Don't be so down on yourself that you never feel like you're good enough, and so you just go looking for any attention, no matter what it is, because it can lead you to somewhere dangerous. I don't know what would have happened had we stayed. I'm assuming more would have happened if we had stayed, because we had already gotten high. So what else did he need us for? Like, what else did he want us for? Why wouldn't he let us leave after we started feeling high? Like, I don't know. Who knows? You never know. But it's scary, and you never know. So please be careful. Listen to your parents when they're protective over you. There's a reason for that. There are sick people out there who are just that. They're not bad people. They're just sick sometimes. And sometimes their intentions are not safe. And sometimes it can turn dangerous, and sometimes it can turn fatal. So you never know who you're dealing with in life. So always be careful. Don't judge people. Be nice to people. Be kind to everybody. Don't hate people. But just be wary and be aware of your surroundings and the people that are surrounding you. And yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this story. If you want to hear another story time video, please hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. And I will see you guys again next Friday for another Fun Friday video. And if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please do it. I post videos every Monday through Friday, so almost every day. And then sometimes I do random ones on the weekends too. So yeah, so I will see you guys on Monday for another video. I love you very much, and remember forever and always, you are beautiful, you are worth it, and I am too. Thank you for watching. Bye!